Okay, let me tell you a great story. When I worked in the hell as a cop, I learned more on that job than most jobs. You'd be hanging around a lot of times just talking, watching the senators walk by. And a lot of the elite senators, the liberals, Ribicoff, people like that, you know, I'm sure, what's his name from Arkansas, Fulbright. They like everybody, but no one in particular.
Right.
Woodrow Wilson was like that. He sort of liked America, but he wasn't too keen on anybody he might meet.
I love mankind. It's his people.
Yeah, I know. It's that great song from Hair. Why? How could people be so heartless? Easy to be cruel. They love America. They love all the concerns of the poor, but they don't really like anybody. You know what's the one liberal that used to stop and talk to the cops all the time?
Who's that?
Bobby Kennedy.
Really?
It made me really love his memory.
God bless him.
The fact that he was a regular guy, he was an Irish cop at heart, and he would stop and talk to the cops. He wasn't one of these, I've got a business important to us all. I can't stop and wait. My favorite question again is, your car's broken down the side of the road. You got a flat or something's missing. You need your electrical system, something's screwing up. You're out of gas, you blew it, okay? And you had your hand out like this. You're trying to thumb a ride. Yeah. You're trying to get somebody to stop. You got a little thing ripped right there, a rag on the window, whatever.
Yeah.
Who stops?
You know who stops?
Who stops?
Do you know who stops?
And the guy who stops is the guy you're going to vote for, the woman you're going to vote for. Because the guy that says, I'm an important business, I can't stop you, is the guy you don't want to vote for.
Do you know?
Well, the question is, would Ronald Reagan have stopped? I don't know. Would John Kennedy have stopped? I don't know, but it's a great question.
I'm going to tell you who would have stopped.
All right.
I left Congress 2001.
You would have stopped, Joe.
I left because my sons needed me at home. They told me they needed me at home. My oldest son was going through problems. I had to leave. I hated leaving, but I had to go home. I always say, toughest decision I made, the easiest decision I made. Do you know who showed the most kindness to me of anybody in Congress, the House or the Senate? Ted Kennedy. He sent me this amazing picture of Bobby and said, Bobby would have been proud of you. Bobby would have loved you. All the best, Ted Kennedy. He knew my son was a diabetic. He sent a letter later. And he said, if you or your son ever need any help, please call me up. And I'll take care of it.
Story.
The only thing I ever said publicly about Ted Kennedy was negative. And yet here was a guy who was gracious, he was above it all. And let me tell you something, if I was stopped at 2 in the morning, Ted Kennedy would stop and say, get in the car, let's go.